Thoughts about it being the rivalry game?
I mean, this is the city championship. I mean, this is for it all. I mean, to beat these guys 2 years in a row would be a huge step for our program. I mean, they dominated us for 8, 9 years in a row. So, I mean, like, 2 years in a row is going to help the recruiting and things like that and get people to start coming here. I mean,
earlier this year, you weren't talking about just beating them. You're talking about embarrassing them. Still something that you guys want to do?
I mean, of course. I mean, that's just how I feel about every team, honestly. I mean, I want to embarrass every team. I want to beat every team by as much as possible. So, I mean, it's probably a little more added fuel to the fire because it's USC and those comments got blown up a little bit. But that's how I feel about every team, honestly.
Do you regret those comments at all?
I mean, I probably could have said it in a different way, but honestly, what I meant by it, I don't really regret it, no.
You mentioned recruiting. How much do the outcomes of these games impact recruits in your mind?
Oh, it impacts a huge deal. I mean, especially because USC pretty much ran this town for a little while. So, I mean, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that it was between UCLA or USC, you're going to USC. So, to beat these guys 2 years in a row, like I said, it's be a huge step for recruiting. And, I mean, it's probably already started with guys starting to come here more than USC, but I think two wins in a row will verify our spot in the city.
Growing up, how clear was it that this was kind of a USC town just because of how much they dominated?
I don't know if that's all it was. It wasn't. UCLA was barely mentioned. If it was, it wasn't nothing great. So I mean, growing up, it was all USC, especially from where I'm from, the South Central.
How would you describe? You know, was that just like people around you? Everyone was a USC fan.
Everybody, family, friends. Everybody was a USC fan, so it was tough growing up because growing up I hated them since I was a little kid, so it was tough. But now that I'm at UCLA, it's been a little shift, I guess, a little bit in the family.
Why'd you hate them growing up? Any reason in particular?
I don't know. I guess I just saw UCLA first when I was a little kid, and I fell in love with them first and found out that USC wasn't liked too much by UCLA fans, so I just fell into that trap and been a UCLA fan since.
So you were kind of always the one standing out in that group?
Yeah, I just like all my family likes the Lakers and I don't, so same thing.
How much can 1 year change things? When you guys win last year, how much can that change things in a rivalry?
That's just crazy how one game could change things. I mean, if we lose that game last year, I don't know what the talk would be this year. But, I mean, when you win a game like that, especially a team that's been beating you in a big game like that for the Pac-12 South title against your rivals, it's a huge thing. And, like I said, it helps out with recruiting everything and program skyrocketing.
Now, how much different does it feel this year maybe than it did when you were, say, like a freshman or sophomore in terms of the rivalry?
I mean, it just feels different because we actually know that we probably are the better team, and we're probably the team, and we have a legitimate chance to win. I mean, those years of course you're not going to say we're going to lose, but back then it was everybody knew we probably weren't going to win. But now that we a team that can compete and things like that's what makes it a big difference.
Big difference from after, say, that 50-0 game?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we still owe them for that.
You think you need a second win to kind of prove that last year wasn't just a fluke in terms of the rivalry?
Yeah, I think we do, and for everybody else, I mean, we know it wasn't a fluke last year, but I mean, I feel like people in LA and people around the country think it was, and I know those guys over there think it was. So I mean, to go out there and beat them at their house would pretty much verify that we run this town now.